Listen to a talk by Dr. Jennifer Haynes, Director of Guidance at Falls College. This was recorded by Falls College Radio.
Good afternoon. Have you ever been in a difficult situation and had someone tell you, "Well, that's too bad, but you know what they say, it builds character"? What is build character? Do we build it ourselves, or do circumstances in our lives build our character? If you feel something about your character isn't serving you or the people you love, is it possible to change it? Many people think the words personality and character are synonyms, but in fact, they describe different kinds of behavioral traits, and they come from different origins. You've probably never heard anyone suggest that doing something difficult builds personality. That's because our personality is mostly a trait we are born with, like being an introvert or an extrovert. Parents often observe that their children have their own personality when they're babies, before they've even spoken their first words. Character, on the other hand, is learned. Children are experts at learning by imitating others. That is, they see how their parents, siblings, teachers, and friends behave, and they copy those kinds of behavior. Character can be thought of as patterns of behavior, like being honest or loyal. It's also helpful to think of it as a pattern of decisions or responses. Here's an example. A child breaks an expensive vase. Their parent finds the broken vase and asks the child what happened. The child now has a decision to make. Do they tell the truth and admit to breaking the vase, or do they lie? If they lie, do they blame someone else for breaking it, or do they say it was an accident? Or do they say they don't know what happened? If the child lies, it's an example of dishonesty. If the child blames someone else, it's an example of being disloyal. Hopefully, we can all agree that if the child had good role models, they would be honest, and hopefully their parent will recognize that the child is doing the right thing and reinforce that behavior. When the child is faced with more difficult decisions later in life, these early experiences will help them make the right decision. When you enter adulthood as you begin college, you will experience more and more situations and decisions that test your character, those difficult times that people say build character. But just as you prepare for a test in English or mathematics, you can prepare for tests of character. Begin by thinking back on times in your life that you made good or bad decisions. Think about how you could have made different decisions. And then, think about situations in the future when you'll be faced with new decisions. It's in your power to decide how you'll respond. Will you be honest or dishonest? Loyal or disloyal? Fair or unfair? Reliable or unreliable? Remember, whether your personality is easygoing or you're quick to anger, you can decide to behave in ways that demonstrate good character. The circumstances of your life or your experiences are opportunities for you to develop your character. In the end, we're free to decide what kind of character we want to have.